Okay, so today I will be talking about, my apologies. Today I'll be talking about, these things that plague my brain. I have major depressive disorder and anxiety, or general anxiety disorder. And I've known for many years that, there was kind of something a little bit off about me. But it wasn't until I actually went and was evaluated by a doctor, etc., upon having a meltdown when I was about 19 or 20. I'm 26 now. And basically just seeking out the help that I needed. And in doing so, I tried to abstain from from medication. I was terrified, quite honestly. I didn't want to become like a zombie or like have my core personality change, essentially. And it took a while for me to be kind of convinced that things weren't working with just, talking things out, with trying to manage things using cognitive behavioral therapy, breathing exercises, etc. And it just wasn't working. I was still having meltdowns, not able to really function, essentially. And it took some convincing on the part of my therapist to maybe seek some sort of medical assistance. And I would say I've been on medicine for a few years. I can't, maybe when I was 22 or 23. I probably already said I'm 26 now. And it helped quite a bit. I will say that. I definitely don't feel like a zombie. I still struggle with the same kind of thought processes. It's a whole process, to say the least. And I don't know, just some things that really help me is when I just take things one day at a time. Try not to overwhelm myself too much with too many things. Don't be too hard on myself if I can't complete shit. Like, not necessarily complete it, but just don't try to do it all at once. And if I think too far ahead in all the things that I have to do, it just, I still struggle in that regard. And, but one thing that bothers me quite a bit is, the lack of understanding. Everyone's been really supportive and, trying to see me through everything. Probably at the beginning of all this, I had someone break up with me because I was a bummer. I was a downer, he wasn't too excited to always hang out with me because I was like, it was like a 4.5-year relationship, by the way. Was not able to, I guess, cope with or / understand what I was going through, and that was it. I'm currently with someone who, he may not understand sometimes, but he's really good about it. Like, he definitely understands. Which I'm really grateful for. Before we started dating, I kind of, I gave him a warning, like, hey, before you commit to this mess right here, I'm basically a mess. And he's just like, yeah, like, whatever, like, I've known people, family members and stuff that have struggled with like depression and the like, and like it's whatever. And they're going great 3 years later. um anyhow, so one thing that frustrates me though is that my family treats it as though it is a temporary thing. Like, it's just like they don't get it to the extent that I wish they would. And not to say that they're not supportive, but they're just like, oh, you're doing so well, and like blah blah blah, like, maybe you can get off your meds soon, or like blah blah. And I'm like, no, like that's not something that I think, at least at this point, that I would be capable of. Like, I would like to not have to rely on medicine to kind of keep me sane, I guess. But just I just get so frustrated. Like, it's not like a cold or just something so like blasé or like whatever. Like, I mean, I treat it very nonchalantly. I'm just like, oh yeah, I've got major depressive disorder, blah blah blah, which I think freaks people out because there's still stigmas and whatnot around it. But it's just it's frustrating that like the people that I would like to rely on the most are just like, oh, like get over it, or like you're being dramatic, or like, oh yeah, that's just how my brain processes this shit. Like, just let me step outside of myself, outside of the situation, and evaluate that and know that I'm being irrational and come back to you with my apologies. I do that a lot. I know when I'm being irrational. I call it my crazy brain. But I just, well, it's okay for me to, have the few that get it, even if they are like internet like friendships that I've developed over kind of relating to each other, and like just the inability to do just basic things like get out of bed, like take a shower, like brush your teeth. Like, it's so draining and so frustrating because they don't get it, or they think that I'm being lazy, or I'm being a drama queen, or like blah blah blah. And it's just like, if I could, I would, and like in a heartbeat, like immediately. But it is kind of something that fuels me. It's a fuel, if you will, for me to going into clinical psychology. Currently in between things, but I mean, it's something that I would like to do to work towards better informing people, like destigmatizing mental illnesses, like, and just being open about it, because it's not, I mean, well, it's terrible, I'm having a really good day, so but on my bad days, I'm not a functioning person, and I understand that. And if we can work towards a better understanding of what each person goes through, like, if it's different, or even if it's similar to what you're going through, just to not make them feel so other, and like they're outside of like normal. So what the fuck is normal? Functioning society, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. So yeah, that's my story, complaint, etc.